What if I told you that one of the most overlooked films of recent years succeeded not despite its chaotic production, but because of it? Most critics completely missed this when they dismissed Weapons' rough indie filmmaking. They were looking at the surface when they should have been examining the foundation. When you watch Weapons, you're seeing something genuinely unusual in contemporary cinema. The narrative follows classic three-act structure, but with deliberate fractures that mirror its themes of youthful violence and fractured relationships. Think of it like watching a master guitarist intentionally detune their instrument. The dissonance becomes the melody. The protagonists spiral through a negative character arc that grips you precisely because it refuses easy moral answers. When you hear dialogue like, "You can't erase what's done," delivered with a haunting matter-of-factness, you're witnessing storytelling that prioritizes uncomfortable truth over comfortable resolution. This isn't accidental messiness, it's purposeful narrative architecture. The casting strategy reveals something brilliant about working with constraints. The director blended seasoned professionals with complete newcomers, creating an ensemble that feels authentically volatile. Watch the scene where the lead whispers, "This isn't over," to his rival. That fragile power dynamic you're feeling comes from actors genuinely uncertain about their scene partner's next moves. The lead actor grounds this emotional chaos through naturalistic performance choices. His restraint becomes the film's secret weapon, with subtle facial microexpressions carrying more weight than explosive outbursts could. This isn't method acting, it's survival instinct, translated into character work. Now, we get to where technical mastery, disguised as roughness, becomes genuinely sophisticated. The cinematography employs medium shots as its dominant language, keeping us intimately connected to character psychology without overwhelming us. But watch for those sudden extreme close-ups that isolate emotional microexpressions. It's like the camera becomes a therapist, forcing us to confront what these characters are really feeling. Low-angle shots transform certain characters into looming threats, while high-angle compositions make others appear vulnerable and trapped. The lighting strategy uses heavy chiaroscuro contrasts to create noirish moral ambiguity that makes you question everyone's motives. Even the handheld camera work, which feels unstable and anxious, perfectly mirrors the character's psychological states. The editing choices are particularly sophisticated here. Continuity style maintains immersion, but those jarring jump cuts at tension peaks are designed to disorient you, reflecting the psychological fragmentation happening on screen. Every technical choice serves the emotional truth. Sound design anchors this violent world through diegetic elements, that harsh, buzzing street lamp, those distant sirens, while a sparse, brooding score builds dread without overpowering the naturalistic performances. Notice how L-cuts maintain tight narrative flow, with audio from the next scene beginning before the visual cut. It creates seamless emotional momentum that keeps you locked in. Every mainstream reviewer who called Weapons rough, uneven, and weighed down by chaotic production missed the entire point. The technical imperfections aren't flaws, they're the film's greatest achievement. This fragmented visual language, these unpredictable editing rhythms, these emotionally jagged performances, they embody youth violence's volatile, unpredictable nature more effectively than any polished studio thriller ever could. Consider this. How do you cinematically represent chaos? Not through perfect technical execution, but through controlled instability that feels authentically chaotic. The roughness critics complained about is actually sophisticated aesthetic coherence, disguised as amateurism. This challenges conventional wisdom about technical mastery. Sometimes the highest form of craft is knowing exactly when to appear unpolished. Weapons succeeds because it transforms production limitations into thematic strengths. In our current cinema landscape, obsessed with technical perfection and franchise polish, this film argues that imperfection can be more truthful than perfection.
The lasting significance lies in how it captures societal fractures through radical integration of narrative, performance, and craft. This isn't just another indie thriller, it's a demonstration of authentic filmmaking in an artificial age. So the question that changes everything becomes, in a world where every frame is digitally perfected, can weapons teach us that cinematic imperfection might be the most honest reflection of complex human realities we have? The answer transforms how you'll approach every film that follows. This analysis demonstrates how production chaos, when embraced rather than hidden, can become cinema's most powerful tool for emotional authenticity, proving that sometimes the most effective filmmaking happens not despite limitations, but because of them.